You step into a forgotten temple, spot a glittering gold idol, and immediately stop your friend from grabbing it. Why? Because your sharp eyes notice the floor tiles are angled slightly down, perfectly positioned to trigger a hidden poison dart. It is easy to assume that massive, intricate mechanisms only exist in Hollywood adventure movies. We tend to picture early humans as simple hunter-gatherers, huddling around fires, completely incapable of building anything complex until they eventually invented farming. But our ancestors were actually brilliant architects. They were manipulating entire landscapes and building colossal structures thousands of years before the pyramids or Stonehenge even existed. They practiced the architecture of survival. Instead of relying on small physical snares, ancient people engineered massive environment-scale systems specifically designed to solve the daily threats to their existence. Studying these real deadly traps in hidden cities out in the wild tells us far more about human ingenuity than any fictional puzzle box ever could. Let's leave the movies behind and look at the actual engineering that kept humanity alive. If you look at the harsh deserts of Saudi Arabia from the sky, the sheer unbroken scale of the landscape is overwhelming. Stretching for kilometers across this expanse, you will find enormous stone structures scientists call desert kites. Built between 7,000 and 9,000 years ago, these megastructures predate Stonehenge by millennia. This diagram shows exactly how they worked. The ancient builders used wide V-shaped geometric stone lines to intercept moving herds. The walls naturally funneled the wild animals along their migration paths, pushing them directly into a concentrated, enclosed endpoint where they were captured. Constructing something this large required intense coordination. These Neolithic architects actually drafted building blueprints by carving their designs into rocks before ever laying down a single stone on the ground. At a scale of several kilometers, the desert kite represents a permanent environmental engineering solution designed to guarantee a society's food supply week after week. Let's travel back further, over 11,000 years ago, to a site in Turkey called Göbekli Tepe. Here, our ancestors erected these enormous 10-ton T-shaped stone pillars in a series of circular rings. For decades, historians insisted that humans had to settle down and invent agriculture to support the workforce needed for complex construction. But Göbekli Tepe proved them entirely wrong. Hunter-gatherers possessed the advanced social organization to build monumental temples before anyone planted a single crop. The ancient builders carved intricate, terrifying animals, like scorpions, foxes, and vultures, directly into the stone pillars. These were early forms of storytelling, allowing them to record and pass down vital information. But researchers believe one specific pillar stands apart from the rest. The intricate symbols and bird shapes etched here seem to act as a prehistoric astronomical warning. By deciphering these specific bird and symbolic shapes, researchers identified what appears to be a chronicle of a massive comet strike, an event that triggered a 1,000-year global cold snap. This suggests Göbekli Tepe functioned as an advanced astronomical observatory, an early data center, built by survivors desperately trying to document a cosmic event that caught humanity entirely off guard. Surviving the ancient world also meant knowing how to hide. Deep in the desert of Jordan, the landscape is dominated by these towering, unyielding sandstone cliffs. A group known as the Nabateans looked at this hostile environment and saw a perfect defense mechanism. Instead of building freestanding cities out in the open, they engineered unbreachable, hidden sanctuaries. This strategy resulted in Petra. To this day, scientists struggle to explain exactly how they managed to carve such flawless, massive architectural facades entirely out of the living rock, top to bottom, without any modern technology. And yet, Petra wasn't an isolated anomaly. There is a second, equally mysterious capital of the Nabatean kingdom, concealed deep in the desert, known as Madain Saleh. Madain Saleh consists of over 100 decorated tombs and ancient rock drawings, each one carved deep into solitary sandstone monoliths that rise abruptly from the flat desert floor. By weaponizing the raw geology of their environment, the Nabateans executed the ultimate defensive engineering strategy. They turned the Earth itself into a shield against both the desert elements and invading armies. Whether they were manipulating wild animal paths in Saudi Arabia, tracking deadly cosmic events in Turkey, or reshaping solid mountains in Jordan, early humans survived by out-engineering nature itself. These sweeping desert landscapes and stone ruins stand as remnants of massive, highly engineered survival technologies, proving our ancestors were far more than simple inhabitants of their environment. True human ingenuity existed tens of thousands of years ago, thriving in the calloused hands of our hunter-gatherer ancestors long before the first pyramids were built. If you enjoyed exploring these real-world ancient masterworks and want to keep training your brain to spot the details everyone else misses, hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. Leave a comment telling us which ancient site you would want to explore the most. Stay curious, stay observant, and we will see you next time for another adventure.